In today's video, I'll show you how to make 5 Christmas decor pieces for less than $5 each. I'm Robin, so let's jump into DIY number 1. For this one, you're going to need some moss, some pieces of scrapbook paper. I got these at Michael's, and I have these 3 little houses that I got on big time clearance at Dollar General. I mixed some assorted color paints, and you're also going to need some pipberry garland and some wood letters, which I already had on hand. This paper came in a 6x6 pad at Michael's, and I was trying to match the paint to the background. It's kind of a khaki color, but the closest I could get was mixing some celery and some other colors, and I painted my letters using that. Now, as you just saw there, that said $2 per house. I only paid 50 cents each for a grand total of $1.50 for all 3 pieces. Now I'm taking a piece of painter's tape because all I'm going to paint is the top part of the house and all of the sides. The rest I'm going to cover in scrapbook paper. So just like you see here, I'm measuring out my paper, and on 2 of the houses I'm using this really pretty burgundy color. All of these coordinate so well together, and they definitely give off a woodland farmhouse vibe. I just fell in love with it. So I attached all the scrapbook paper down using a glue stick. Then I go back, cut them out, and we're ready to dress them up. There was a little bit too much overhang of the paper to just go in and start sanding it off. So I used my box cutter, trim it as close as I can to the edge of the house. Then I will go back and sand off any excess with a piece of sandpaper. I fell in love with this paper pack from Michael's, guys. That piece there in the middle with the O is a beautiful khaki color, and the little berries on there are the same color burgundy as the other sheets. So there I am. I glued down my letters with the hot glue, and I'm going to attach them together like you saw me holding them up there. I thought that letters by themselves were just a little blah. I wanted something to pop. So I decided to make the O in joy into a wreath using this, what's it called? Is it reindeer moss? Floral moss? I don't know. But to me, it's messier than the Spanish moss. But anyway, I just filled in the O until I was pleased with the way it looked, adding some in the bare spots, cutting some off where I thought I got too much. And then I will further embellish it by adding some pipberry garland. There you see me kind of picking off the loose pieces there. Now, if you guys are new here, I want to welcome you to the channel and thank you for clicking on this video. If you are one of my regular subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for coming back. I truly appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see in this video, please go ahead and click that subscribe button and join our crafty crew here. I would love to have you and get to know you. So I got ahead of myself a while ago. Now I'm gluing on the pipberry garland, and this little burlap bow I got in a package from Hobby Lobby in the scrapbook section. Now, they are self-adhesive, but I like to put a little dab of hot glue on the back just to make sure that it's going to stay on there. I think this wreath looks really cute, and it does set it off. It's just what the 3 pieces needed. Now, for the top of the other 2 houses, I have these little mini wreaths that I got from Hobby Lobby, 50% off. They had a red bow, but I pulled those off and I'm adding the same little burlap bow as I did to the center house. And I placed those just above the little window at the top. These turn out absolutely so beautiful. I love these colors together. To me, it just says woodland farmhouse. I love it. I absolutely love it. To attach all the houses together, I'm using a combination of Gorilla Glue and just a few dabs of hot glue, and I hold them together to give them a chance to bond. And then this DIY is finished. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love it. The total cost for this project, $2.85, which includes the $1.50 for all three houses. And I allowed like 60 cents for paint and whatnot, and then paper was a quarter, I figure. For DIY number two, you're going to need a pine cone, some white chalk paint, some more of that moss, a piece of ribbon, and a glue gun. Now, I did not pay $3 for this little pot. I actually only paid 75 cents for it. So that was a bargain. I took out that succulent that was in the middle, and I did take out all the rocks. Now I'm just using some hot glue to apply down some more of that moss, making a base. And we are making a pine cone Christmas tree. All of this. And the pine cone was free, by the way, which, you know what they say, cheap is good, free is better. That's my motto. So I'm trying to build this up so that my pine cone has a really good base to sit on. And I just keep adding layers until I'm satisfied with it. Then I just tack down the pine cone using some hot glue. Really simple project, but you can make several of these. I only have one of these little pots. That's all that Dollar General had, or I would have made three of them. To give it kind of a snowy winterland look, all I'm using is some white chalk paint and a brush, and just no rhyme or reason, just kind of going all over the pine cone, making it look like it has some snow. I took a piece of this pretty pine cone ribbon, and it matches, y'all, with the other colors that we've got going on through these DIYs. I just wrapped it around it, hot glued it, made a bow, and the total cost for it $1. 75 cents for the planner, and I figured 25 cents for the ribbon and stuff. Okay, today I am participating in the 5 under $5 DIY challenge, which is hosted by Missy from Crafty Cove DIY, Emily from Farm Charm Chic, and this month's guest host is Ellie from DIY from House to Home. Their links and the playlist will be in the description box. Y'all be sure to go check it out after you finish this one. For this DIY, I'm using a round sign that I had already covered in paper, I don't know, a couple of years ago. A round piece of styrofoam and this ornament from Walmart that was 98 cents. It's been 2 or 3 years ago since I got that. You're also going to need a lot of florals. So I begin by, I trimmed off the round styrofoam to better fit my ornament. Then I just tacked that down in the center as best as I could. I don't measure, y'all. I just kind of throw it down there. And then I apply a generous amount of hot glue to the foam and attach my deer ornament. And I start by using some pine pieces that my mother gave me, and I just shove those in the styrofoam. just all the way around, trying to make it look balanced. Now, this is not my idea. I was inspired to try this by Emily from Farm Charm Chic, and as I said, her channel will be linked below in the description box. I'm just going in with whatever I like. Whatever kind of florals you like, you make it your own. Like I said, I went in with some pine picks that I cut apart. I started with a base layer of pine. I had some of these frosty looking leaves. I went in with those, and I'm not using hot glue on these. I'm just sticking them into the styrofoam under the sign. I also had some of these glittery or snowy looking pine pieces that I'd gotten from Dollar Tree. It had to have been 2 years ago or so. I don't know if they still have them or not. I hope they do because I could really use some more of them. But what I do on one side, I try to do on the other just to make it look balanced and until my eyes are happy. And that's what it's all about. If you like what you've made, then that's all that counts. And I think this piece is gorgeous. My mother gifted me these berries, and this is the same color burgundy that ties in with the other pieces that we're doing today. So I do the same thing. I just cut them apart and stick them in there, trying to balance it out all the way around. Um, Trimming off some of these are kind of long, so just trim it off um, as necessary to get them to fit like I want. And that's really all there is to this. It's really simple, and I love this. I love the deer in the center. I mean, it's really got this woodland look to it, and the berries just make it pop. And as I said, it goes with the other pieces that we're making today. And it's also kind of got I call it a woodland farmhouse feel. But you guys can turn this into anything you want to, any kind of ornament, any kind of florals, make it your own. But this piece, I think it may be my favorite of the whole video. You guys be sure to let me know what you think about this one in the comments. And if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that as well. The total cost for this project ended up being $2.82 because my mother was kind enough to give me all the pine picks and the red berries. Thanks, Mama. For DIY number 4, I'm going to be using one of these Dollar Tree square signs, another piece of that scrapbook paper from the same pad I've been using. And the first thing I'm going to do is take my little screwdriver and pry off that metal piece off of the cupcake. But I do save that because if you turn it around upside down, it kind of looks like the topper for an ornament. So I definitely kept that. So once I had that removed, I took a piece of sandpaper and got off all the glue residue and just made it a little smoother. Now, my paper wasn't big enough to cover the whole board, so I finally got me some khaki acrylic paint by Apple Barrel and went around just the edges. I had to give it 2 coats, and I'm drying it between coats. And if you guys are interested in this heat tool, it is awesome. I will have it linked in my Amazon store below if you want to check it out. So once I had 2 coats of paint on it and it had dried, I hot glued I didn't hot glue it. I used a glue stick to glue down the paper to the center, which is absolutely beautiful. It needed a little something else, so I trimmed out the paper using some jute twine and hot glue. I I love this one too. That khaki color really matches the khaki in this piece, and it matches the khaki color in the joy houses. I love these colors together, y'all. I really do. To finish this one off, I took a few scraps of greenery, hot glued them up in the corner. Then I took some pitberry garland, wound it around a paintbrush to make some little curly cues, and hot glued those down as well. That I think this was all that this needed, except for a little bow. And I do make a finger bow, just wrapping it around my fingers about 8 times, tying it off in the center, and placing it down in the middle of the greenery and the berries. And that's all there was to this one. Simple, quick, and easy, and super inexpensive. I love that. Look at those colors. They just popped. Let me know what you guys think. This was a grand total of $2, y'all. $2. All right, on to DIY number 5. I'm using this metal ornament I got at Dollar General. It was $1. I'm using this frame from Dollar Tree and another piece of that scrapbook paper and some antique wax. So the first thing I did was take my paper and just measure out so I could why do I keep saying hot glue? So I could glue it down to the inside. The back of this thing would not pop out. So I just used that little tool, made indentions around the sign and or around the paper, cut it out, glued it down. So to work on my ornament, I took off the bow. Now I have nothing against, red and black buffalo check, but it's not going with what we're doing today. Now the little top of the ornament had to go because it was going to stick out from the sign. So I'm wrestling with this thing using my floral cutters. That really didn't work. So here come the utility scissors. These things are great. I got them at Harbor Freight. That they cost, I mean, they're cheap and they will cut through anything. So I prevailed. I cut off the top of that ornament. It kind of had me wondering there for a minute. Now, y'all be careful if, when you're cutting any kind of tin or whatever this stuff is made of, because it is super duper sharp. So just be careful. I then took a piece of natural sponge that I got from the Dollar Tree. I just cut a little piece off and I wanted to make it look a little more farmhousey. So I'm using my antique wax. I wanted to bring out those little nubbies around the outside of it. Now I'm taking, instead of the tire blocks, I decided to use some half beads. They just fit the inside of the ornament better. So I'm using the Gorilla Super Glue Gel, gluing down the round part to the ornament itself. Then I will attach the ornament to the sign using hot glue. So again, so simple, and it turns out so pretty. Everything just matches. I decided today was going to be a matchy day. But no, I fell in love, and actually this paper pad that I got from Michael's is what inspired me to do all these DIYs. It inspired me for the theme, which is woodland farmhouse. At least that's what I'm calling it. Then all this needed was just a couple of pieces of greenery, a couple of pine cones, $2.75, y'all. This is so pretty. If you guys are still here, please leave me a Santa Claus emoji. Or if you don't have one, just type Santa Claus in the comments to let me know that you hung in there. And guys, I appreciate you watching more than you will ever know. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. I'm really trying to grow our community here on YouTube. Give it a thumbs up, do all the YouTube stuff. And until next time, y'all go get your craft on. Bye. For even more Christmas inspiration, click the video on your left, or to subscribe, click the image on the right. Thank you so much.